we are talking about our health, and we are looking at it in the area of our food, in the area of what we eat. Because we always say that health is wealth. So that means we cannot just last month we talked about financial literacy, and for us to enjoy the wealth that we have, there is need for us to be in good and to be in perfect health. And that is why this evening we are talking about that health in the area of what we eat, because what we eat is very important. You can say that we are what we eat, because it's what we eat that end up to develop, that we end up to develop with, and end up to be who we actually are. And this topic is so important because there are a lot of benefits that we enjoy. And number one, we are able to we'll be free from sicknesses and diseases, because when we eat well, we eat the right portion, it helps us to be free from sicknesses and it helps us to be safe from diseases. Then also it improves our memory. You know, there are some food that's actually necessary and needful for us, mostly as students and also as career men and women, to be able to enjoy and benefit maximously in our career. So eating good food also help for memory. Then also it also helps us to sleep well and to sleep properly. Once you are not overfull, you are eating the right proportion, it helps you to sleep properly, and it helps you to have a good, nice night rest. The other thing with eating well is that it helps us to be in good mood, because you are eating and you're very light, you have taken the right portion of the food, you are not so heavy to do something, you are so light, and it helps us to be in good mood. And this mood is needful in every areas of our life, because it affects us in our career, whether as students or even as office. If you are not in good mood, it can act anyhow to your subordinates or even to your supervisor. So this topic is very important because it's
So the topic before us is your wellness and you, healthy eating. Your wellness and you, healthy eating. Please, let's all feel free. And we are all so much welcome to make your contributions. Maybe at the end of the day, you can also ask your question. And the question is for every one of us. We are all here to learn. Okay. So I said our topic before us is wellness and you, healthy eating. Okay. So from my own definition, wellness is an active word that involves practicing healthy habits on a daily basis to attain better health outcome. So it's something you keep doing. It's an active word, something you keep doing. Okay, from the definition I have just, from the definition I've just said now, a healthy principle, living, a part of God. So from the definition of my wellness, can we say that healthy principles are really part of God's plan for each and every one of us? I will take my reading from 3 John chapter 1, verse 2a. It says, "Dear friends, I pray that you may enjoy good health. I pray that you may enjoy good health." If God wants us to enjoy good health, that means he equally wants us to follow the principles that enhances our health. And one of such principles is healthy eating. Healthy eating. Healthy eating is not dieting. Let's take note of that. It's not dieting. Healthy eating is ensuring that your body gets all the nutrients that it needs to work optimally. I mean, all the nutrients, you put all the food groups together and ensure your body get a hold of it so it could be able to work properly. For instance, if I'm eating, I must ensure that on my plate, I have a protein source, I have carbohydrate source, I have fat and oil source, I have minerals, and I have vitamins sources. And also, I'm also going to make provision for water. I know water is one of the things that people overlooked. People look at water as though it's nothing, but water is part of it. It's so important. So you don't have to eliminate any of these food groups from your food option. Rather, you have to select the healthiest part of each category. You must select the healthiest part of each categories. It is better to go for unprocessed food like your potato, your yam, and also slightly processed like your oatmeal than the highly processed one that are so concentrated in salt and sugar. And at a sitting for your food consumption, it is better you eat more fruits and veggie, then you eat a medium size of protein source, and a fixed size, that is just like I fold my hand, a fixed size of carbohydrates. So at a sitting, you must also mind your portion size. Yes, I'm eating healthy food, but what about the portion size? Yes, your fruit and vegetable, you can eat them liberally if you don't have any health condition. For instance, if you're not diabetic, if you're diabetic, you begin to choose the fruit you eat. But if you're not diabetic and you don't have any serious health condition, you can eat your fruits and vegetable liberally. Then when it comes to your protein, you eat a medium-sized protein at a sitting. Then when it comes to your carbohydrate, you eat a fixed size of carbohydrate. And don't forget, too much food, especially your carbohydrate, can lead to extra weight. And extra weight is associated with hypertension, type 2 diabetes, cancer, and decreased physical functions. You need good health to be productive in your studies, in your work, in your business, and even in your career. You need good health. And the saying goes, health is wealth. So you actually need good health. And healthy eating is not a short-term practice. It is a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle. If I had my bath yesterday, I must ensure that I also bath today. That is the same way you eat your healthy food. You don't like, oh, I have eaten healthy food yesterday. Today, let me just go and eat junks. No, it is a lifestyle. So it is very important that you take that to memory. It is a lifestyle. And as I said before, healthy eating is not dieting. Dieting restricts you to so many do's and don'ts. Particularly, some people will like, I want to lose weight. Okay, I'm not eating this food. I'm not eating that food so that I can drop some weight. And you find out that you can't stay on it for a long time because it's depriving you on your most favorite meals. And let me let you know that when you eat healthy food, it gives you the same benefit and even much more benefit than when you diet. So healthy eating allows you to choose the healthiest option from all food groups while you still enjoy your favorite meal. I hope somebody is getting that. Praise the Lord. Is somebody hearing me from that end?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I repeat what I just said. Healthy eating allows you to choose the healthiest options from all food groups while you still enjoy your favorite meal. For instance, if I want to have some spread on my bread, and I'm going to look at what do I do, and I'm still going to have some spread on my bread. Instead of going for my margarine, my butter, I can choose to go for my avocado pear. I can choose to go for my avocado pear, and I'm still incorporating fat into my meal, and I'm choosing the right or the healthier option of fats. Praise the Lord. So I also still want to talk about water. Yes, I just mentioned it the other time. I want to talk about water because you cannot ignore water on your health journey. Water is so important. In fact, research has told us that 70 to 75% of our human body is made up of water. Let's say, for instance, you have an apple and you just remove only 25%. The whole apple is almost still there. So the human body is made up of water. So we must deliberately and intentionally drink the required quantity of water every day. There was some time I was doing a training and one of the participants did not turn up, and she came the day after. I was like, oh, I have so much headache yesterday. That's why I couldn't turn up. And I simply asked her, do you take enough water? And she's like, oh, I'm not the water type. I don't take water too much. So in a day, she could take just like 75 cl of water. And what was going through my head, or what I was calculating, which water would the brain will use for transcription? Which water would the cardiovascular system use? Which water would the large intestine? Which water? I was just calculating within myself, and I was like, wow, maybe this is why she's always having headache very often. So I want to encourage us, because it is water that the body uses to work. It uses to perform all its functions optimally. From the biochemical processes, transferring nutrients from one part of the body to the other, the body uses water. Detoxification, the body uses water. So it is so important that we must drink the required quantity of water every day. It's part of the healthy eating I'm talking about, because I'm emphasizing on it because it's something that people neglect. Sometimes we don't pay attention to the quantity of water that we have drank a day. And sometimes we don't even pay attention to the quality of water, because the two goes together, the quantity and the quality of water. So it's important that we pay attention to all of this. And once you don't take adequate quantity of water, the body is very intelligent. It's an intelligent entity. He will quickly improvise. He will shift the major part of the water to the organs that are very important, just for you to stay healthy. And why the other parts will not have water at all, or maybe just a little. And once this happens, the body begins to move from functioning optimally to surviving mood. And when it happens for a long time, your body begins to, give you some signal of sickness. You begin to feel, unnecessary feelings that are not pleasant. So you must drink your water. It's very important. On a daily basis, consciously and intentionally, drink 2.5 to 3 liters of water every day, and preferably mild alkaline water. It is very important in our health journey. And you must drink the water all through the day, particularly in the morning. Wake up with your water. It replaces the loss during the night, and also, detoxify your body. 30 minutes before your food or 1 hour, you also drink your water. It helps to prepare your body for digestion. And maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour after your food, still drink your water. It helps to complete the process of digestion. But it's not particular to that time. You must drink your water all the time. You must drink your water all the time. So water is very important. So back to our healthy eating. I want to quickly give us a simplified tips for healthy eating. I told us before, it is a lifelong thing. It is a lifestyle. It's not something you just do and drop. So once it's complex, you get bored with it. Once it's complicated, you just get tired of it. So you have to make it, simplify it in such a way that you can go easily with it. And what I have first here is eat good percentage of raw food against cooked one. Can we open our Bible to Genesis chapter 1, verse 29? If someone is with your Bible, you can join me in that reading. Genesis chapter 1 verse 29 says, then God says, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it, they will be yours for food. They will be yours for food. This is the original instruction that God gave human for our food. It was after the flood that, God began to tell, Noah, you will eat this animal, this one is clean, this one is not clean. But originally, this was the full prescription that was given us as, human. So, and this food, is a plant-based food. I'm not saying you can't eat your animal food. No, I'm not saying that. But make your fruit and your vegetable the foundation of your meal, because those are the food you can eat them in their raw state. Make it the foundation of your meal. Eat your grains, eat your seed, your nuts, and eat all of them. Okay? I know sometimes people will ask a question like, oh, if we eat all of this and we don't add animal, how do we get our complete protein? I'm not saying you cannot eat your animal food. You can also eat, but if you combine 2 to 3 plant, food, you'll be able to make up for the incomplete of those amino acids that our body needs. So you can also, like for instance, I can cook my beans and my rice, and I'm getting my protein from there. Yes, I can get my protein from my nuts, my walnuts, my almond. I can get my protein from them. Yes, my peanuts, I can also get my protein from them. But what I'm saying is that this is the original diet that God gave humans. So we must eat our fruit and our vegetables in their varieties of colors. We call it rainbow, in their rainbow colors. Eat them as much as you can. They have antioxidant that helps to boost your immune system, that helps to reduce, the frequency of, sicknesses and diseases. And also another tips that helps you eat healthily is to cook your food as often as possible. Cook your food as often as you can. This will help you to minimize the consumption of highly processed food. Because if I'm cooking my food, I am in charge of the ingredients. I choose what goes into the pot. I choose what ingredients is good for me. I choose what ingredients I want to add. So I can, actually choose the healthiest from each of the, food groups. I can actually choose what I think is healthy for me. So it's very important. Ensure you cook your food. You're going to your going for your study, your office. You can pack your food. There's nothing wrong with it. You can pack your food and go with it. You're not going to be at home for a while, and you go along with your meal. Okay, and another option is always use food in season. Another option, always use food in season, because food that are in season are always cheap. They are cheaper than the ones that are not in season, and they have better taste and improved nutrients. Their nutrient is more of quality. Can we mute our microphone so that you can hear me? Okay. So I said you use food that are in season because it's cheaper. And also another point, how you can, simplify your healthy eating is to avoid food with artificial flavors, sweeteners, and preservatives. Avoid food with artificial flavors. We have natural flavors that you can add to your food. Artificial sweeteners, avoid those things. Preservative, because these condiments, they create the desire for you to eat more. And you must know that the body cannot break them down. The body was not meant to break down chemicals, but food from the earth, food from the ground. When you eat your plant-based food, it's easy for your body to break them down. But we begin to deal on those processed, highly processed food that have artificial flavors, sweeteners. Your body begin to struggle to break them down. And in cause of struggling, so many things is going wrong. Before you know, you're feeling, unpleasant, and you're getting unpleasant mood. So we must take note of that. And also we must read our full labels. Read your full labels and know the makeup of your food. Don't just pick anything on the shelf and start eating. Know the content of what you're eating. And how you read your full label, the first 3 items on the full labels, those are the major ingredients in that food. So if I have the full labels and I have cane sugar, I have sucrose, I have glucose, then I will know that that food is highly concentrated in sugar. So it's important you read your full labels. And also, you must space at least 4 hours or more in between your meals. Space at least 4 hours or more in between your meals. Reason being that once you eat, after 30 minutes that you have ate, your pancreas will release insulin, and it will be up to like 3 hours. Anyway, it depends on the composition of your carbohydrate in that food, depend on what, the composition of the food you have eaten. But it stays like 3 hours before your pancreas will, return back to its resting state. So if you are the type that eats on every top of the hour, you find out that you keep your pancreas working all around the clock, and it's not good for your pancreas. And sometimes it makes your pancreas insensitive. That's when you begin to see your insulin can not longer be regulated. It's just like you have a vehicle and you use the vehicle all around the day. The vehicle doesn't have time to rest. This vehicle will break down. Just like us as human, you overstress your body, you don't have time to rest, you will surely break down. It's the same thing with the pancreas. So when you don't allow it to rest, you're eating on top of every hour, you are overworking it, and sooner or later, it will become insensitive. It can no longer regulate your sugar anymore. So you must space your food at least 4 hours or more in between your meals. I know before now, we used to you can eat little food and eat as many times as possible, but this practice is wrong. It doesn't give your pancreas time to rest. So you must eat and space your food. And also follow your hunger. Don't eat because others are eating. Eat because you're hungry and you need that food. Don't eat because others are eating. Eat because you're hungry and you also need the food. And also there is another viable health indices that research has found out. Intermittent fasting. You stay away from energy food, little or no energy food. Just stay away from them for an assigned period you have assigned for yourself. Maybe I can I'm not taking my breakfast. I'm going to take my lunch and my dinner. Yes, during the time I didn't take my breakfast, I am doing intermittent fasting. I can decide to do intermittent fasting for 24 hours, that is from breakfast to breakfast. And this has been a very viable health indices that have helped to improve the overall health. It has helped to balance hormones. So once in a while, maybe weekly, you can just incorporate intermittent fasting once a week or twice a month to improve your health. And also you have to stay easy with yourself. I told us that healthy eating is a lifelong thing. It is not a sprint, it is a marathon. You must do it steadily and consistently. So it's not something you are like, oh, I'm doing so that I can get out of it. No, it's something you must do all through life. So make sure you're prepared for it. And you must have a clear understanding of why you are eating healthily. It's important. If you don't have an understanding of what you're doing, it becomes an issue. You do it haphazardly. If you don't have understanding of what you're doing, you don't take it serious, you don't have any drive. So you must have a clear understanding of why you are to eat healthy food. Is important. And putting all I have said together, there are a lot of benefits that are attached to healthy eating, a whole lot of it. Like my sister said earlier, there is a whole lot of, benefits. It helps you to, keep an ideal weight. It helps you to keep an ideal weight. And remember, I told us you have to choose the healthiest option from each of the food categories because there are highly processed ones from all the food categories. So you go pick the healthiest option, the one that are unprocessed one that you process yourself, and you're in charge of the ingredients. By the time you keep doing this, it helps to shed your weight. It helps to bring your weight to that ideal weight that you wish to have. And also it improves heart health. It improves heart health and also gives strong bone. We have to know that once, like for women, once we are 45, between 45 and 60, we attain menopause. And once you attain menopause, keeping your bone is an issue. Is a challenge, keeping your bone. So you must do all you can, eating healthy to keep your bone strong. And also it betters our mood. It betters our mood and also helps our energy level. We don't struggle with tiredness. We don't struggle with weakness of the body. Our energy level is good. We can go about do our daily activities and we are, strong. And also improve memory and brain health. It improves memory and brain health. Like those of us that are doing research, you can sit down and publish as much paper as possible because your brain from all I have said, know that health is wealth. Health is wealth. It is very true because managing any health condition is expensive. Even going through the medical examinations, they are all expensive. So we must know that. I know that there was some time that one of my relations was admitted in the clinic, and we have to do a whole lot of, tests, examination, investigation every day, and it involves a whole lot of money. So if you're eating healthily, you could skip all of that. And also there is another saying that if you eat wrongly, no doctor can cure you. But if you eat rightly, then you do not need any doctor. Based on this, I encourage us to eat healthy and stay healthy. Thank you very much for giving me audience. I think I have to pause at this point. Let's hear, comments, questions, and also contributions. Thank you.
Wow.
Processed food.
The chemical used in processing food now is not it's not like the olden days where they make use of the right portion of chemical, but now it's like because they want to harvest it on time, the chemical used in processing it is high, and sometimes you buy those food within few days they are spoiled, mainly because of the chemical used in processing them is high. So how do we benefit maximally, because this is what we're actually consuming?
Yes. You are very correct. We have GMO food, genetically modified. We have all sorts of food that, are not, they don't allow it to get to the right time of harvest, and all this disrupt or interrupt the benefit of this food. One thing I do as a nutritionist, I go to where the local farmers farm, because their own way of farming is quite different from the what do I use? Is the international? What do I use? Is let's say the vax. There are the people that do a vax farming. Did you get it? People that do a vax farming, they use a lot of chemicals. They use a lot of fertilizer to improve the quality of their plants, and all this can also affect. So what I do, I go to the local farmers to get my goods because they don't use as much as the other one, or sometimes they don't even use it at all. And also another time, you can have a small garden. Yes, it might not be enough, but you must have to, do a little thing to help yourself. You can have a small garden, and you plant your spinach, plant your other veggie, and you also, even you don't have a garden, you can plant them in your buckets. You can improvise, a container, and you plant your food, and it will also help to reduce the exposure to the other one that you ate or you bought from the market. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes, ma.
All right. Thank you so much for the answer to the question. But I was smiling when you said you look for the local farmers, because now, for some of us that are outside the shores of Nigeria, and we can't access the local farmers, what do you think we can do? That's my first question. Maybe I should allow you to answer that before I ask another
Yeah,
question.
even where you are, I know sometime when I was in Unizulu, there are local farmers there. There are local farmers. It's just that you will be able to fish them out. But I think if you go to their local market, not the ShopRite or not the mall, if you go to their local market, I think you'll be able to get some local food stuff, the one directly from the farm. Because I know sometimes when I move around, I will see some of them planting, and I still say that the way they use those chemicals are reduced compared to the vast or to the huge, farmers.
All right. Thank you, ma. I have a question at the chat box.
You have to do, or you have to see how you can plant yours.
Yes, ma. I have a question here, which is part of the question I want to ask you. So I think the person asking is just reading my mind. She said, can you share tips to encourage healthy nutrition in young children?
Okay, in young children. I don't know how old is the child.
Okay, let's say from any child till, let's say, from 0 to teenage.
Okay, from 0 to 6 months. Let me start with 0 to 6 months. 0 to 6 months, we encourage exclusive breastfeeding. No milk, no water, just breast milk. Because your breast milk contains both milk and water. So what we encourage you, at every time you give your child, your breast milk, you ensure that the child empty one breast. You ensure that the child empty a particular breast before you go to the next one. Because as the child starts sucking, what the child is getting first is water. So if you give the child this one and you quickly switch over to this, the child will not be getting the milk. So you must allow the child to empty a particular breast before moving to the next one, so that the child will get both the both the water and the milk. That is for 0 to 6 months. Then after 6 months, you can introduce solid food. Solid food like your pap, solid food like your Cerelac, like your other series, and also continue with your breast milk for 2 years. That's for, I've talked about 0 to 6 months, and now 6 months to 2 years. Then for a teenage child, from 2 years upward, you will give the child what you eat in the house. You don't have to do a special food. You don't have to go look for food that are so packed in containers, packed in boxes. These are the processed food we are talking about. Packed in bags, in tins. These are the processed food we are talking about. And when you give such food to the child becomes obese. And sooner or later, the child begins to develop, sickness that you begin to wonder, where is it coming from? So let the child eat the same food you are eating at home. Don't, because he's a child and you keep, bombarding processed, canned, tin food into the child. You're eating rice, let the child eat rice. You're eating beans, let the child eat beans. You're eating yam, potato. Let the child eat whatever you eat. Then when it comes to teenage age, yes, they need your milk, they need your protein, like your fish, your meat, your beef. As an adult, you might reduce the intake of those food, but from teen, that's your 13 to 19 years, the teenage, age bracket, they need all of these, for their body to be able to grow properly and grow better and grow fine. Even from the age 2 to the teenage age, they need all of this.
Okay, ma. Thank you very much. So we have another question. Please, can we have the right mix of carbohydrates and protein in a meal?
Okay, I've told us before, for your carbohydrate, you only need, I just want something you can. If I want to say it in grams, maybe you might be confused. You're seeing my hand, a fixed size for an adult meal. Can you see the way I'm putting my hand? So if you have rice in this form, it's good for an adult. Then your carbohydrate is just a medium size of your beef, your chicken, just a medium size, not too large or elaborate size, just a medium size for your protein.
Okay, ma. Thank you, ma. So we have another question. How can an ulcer patient eat healthy and space eating intervals up to 4 hours as you have advised?
Yes, that is someone that already have a health issue. I'm referring, if you listen when I said earlier, I said if you don't have any health condition, but if you are not managing a health condition, then your meal is going to be different. Your meal is going to be different. A diabetic meal, and what I've said, is completely different. An ulcer patient is completely different, because as an ulcer patient, there are something you must stay away from, and there are something you must as well eat to improve your condition.
Okay, so we have another question. How healthy is GMOs products?
Yeah, we have talked about it, that if there's any way we can, stay away from it and get an organic product, is better. Is better. Organic product is much better. But when it's genetically modified, then something must have been altered. So it might not be as healthy as an organic food. So if you can get your organic food, is better. But where you cannot get your organic food, you don't have any option than to go eat it.
Okay. So you make mention of
All right,
water.
about bread.
Mm.
Can you share, because now, like the environment we have, bread is the common food for everyone.
Yeah.
So what can you give as an advice regarding bread? Can we eradicate bread? Because I heard that even this brown bread is not that safe. So what kind of bread can we eat that is safe?
Yeah, for people that have been following my post, sometime last day I was doing a healthy bread, because I found out that the commercially made bread, just like I mentioned, sweeteners, artificial flavors, they are also part of it. So as it's good for you to have at least a little idea of how to make some basic food, so that you can be in charge of the ingredients. It's very important. Yes, for now, or for people that don't know how to make bread at all, I will say you can go for your brown bread, which I think is the wheat bread. And I don't want to go into too much details, but if you are of the A block group, which I say I don't want to go into details, I don't advise people to eat bread as is made up of 100% wheat. Instead I advise them to go for like a millet bread, because of something that is in wheat that does not go with their blood group. But I don't want to go in that details. But I can advise that you go for your brown bread, which is supposed to be 100% wheat or whole grain. You can go for that. But I also advise that if you have an opportunity of learning how to make your own bread, it's better because you're in charge of the ingredients. You can choose what you add. If I want to make bread at home, I choose not to add anything sweetener. I can add just my honey and my yeast and I'm fine. And I know what I'm eating is healthy. So 2 things, you go for your, whole wheat bread, and another one, maybe you have an idea of how to make little bread at home. It might just be a bread roll and it's still fine. At least you know what you're eating. You know that it's healthy.
Okay. Fruits. What best fruit is good for all blood group?
Positive.
That's why I was saying I don't want to go into detail because someone will not bring all those questions. I think it will be better we just narrow it to this healthy eating. Yes, for sorry, for what blood group did you say? Hello.
O positive.
Okay, O positive. Yeah, for O positive, the only vegetable fruit that I discourage them from taking is cucumber. Are you there? I
Yes.
discourage them from taking cucumber because it's like a poison to them. I don't want to go into that detail so that we don't get confused. But the only fruit I advise O positive is cucumber, so that you don't, because it's like a poison to them. In fact, maybe that should be a topic for another day because there are food that are highly beneficial to each blood group. For O positive, there are food that are highly beneficial to you. If you eat it, it keeps you steadily healthy. For people that are, of A blood group, B, there are food that are particularly beneficial to them. So if you can avoid those food, it's an added advantage to your, to your healthy eating. But we keep that for another day so that we don't go too detailed.
Yes, sir. We have another question. Is daily intake of milk recommended for adults?
Okay, for adults, let me recommend the milk first. For adults, usually I recommend plant-based milk. Plant-based milk, you can get your plant-based milk from your almond, from your tiger nuts, from your soya milk or soya beans. You can get your milk from there because the cow milk, I think it's good to explain this at once. The cow milk contains acid, and the acid in this cow milk, instead of allowing you get the calcium in cow milk, it prevents you from getting that cow milk, and it also depletes the calcium you already have in your body. So I don't advise adults to take cow milk. Anything cow milk, stay away from it. You can use your plant-based milk, which I have mentioned: almond, tiger nuts, soya beans. You can get your milk from those ones there. They are accessible everywhere. You can get them. Then for your the quantity you need to take, I don't know how you want to take. Is it drinking it or using it for your oats or for your cereals? If you're going
Can we
to use
have the
it,
two?
sorry. If you're
Can we
okay,
have the two?
if you're going to use it for your cereals, I think you just need like I don't know how I'm going to say it in meal now. You get the quantity let me say like I'm saying like 50 meals. Sorry, I can't leave here. I will have get a cup to just show you what I want. But let me say 50 meals. Yeah, you can get like 50 meals, 75 meals, depending on the quantity of what you're eating. Because if you're using your plant-based milk, it doesn't really have much effect on you than the cow milk. So you can use as moderate quantity as possible. I think that's the right word. Stay moderate. Just use as moderate quantity as possible.
Okay,
Ma.
thank you, Ma. We have a question on Facebook that what should children eat more than adults?
Okay, now children can eat everything. Yeah, I heard you. Children can eat as much meat they want to eat, protein they want, that is from the protein source. They can eat chicken as they want to eat because their body, can still break down a lot of things compared to the adult body. So you and I will be mindful of the protein source, maybe just a medium size, but the child can eat, he can eat as much meat that he or she wants to eat because their body is still strong enough to break down those things. They can also eat more fruits and vegetables. I know that children sometimes they don't like fruits and vegetables. They don't like it, but we have to encourage them to eat it. They can also eat the rice that I say a fixed size for an adult. They can eat as much as they want to eat because their body can still break them down. But however, they must stay in moderation. Hello? They must stay in moderation. Moderation is the watchword. Even if they are going to eat more than adults, they must still stay in moderation.
Okay, ma. Okay.
That does food intake affect or helps cancer treatment? If yes, cite example. And the
Yes.
second question is that are there food type to enhance good eyesight? So
Yeah. Yes, for a cancer patient, if I get your question right, is there food that can improve their health?
yes, that can help in cancer treatment.
Okay. Yes. If you notice that you have cancer, there are two ways to go about it. It's either you choose to go for the conventional method, that is your chemo, or you choose to go for the nutritional method. And we have noticed that the chemo has a high rate of casualty than the nutritional method. And if you are going to be on a cancer diet that improves your health, which many people have been on it and people have survived it without chemo and without even surgery, then you must prepare your mind to go on uncooked food for like 8 months to 1 year. You are not going to eat anything that is cooked. You're going to eat, particularly your carrot helps so much in treating cancer, your garlic, your ginger. So you have to eat your food in varieties, in different colors, your fruit and your veggie. So you must prepare your mind that, oh, I'm going to stay on fruit and veggie or any of uncooked food for like 8 months to 1 year. And people have done all of this and have helped their situation. And most of them are cancer free. One, you must ensure that you drink the adequate quantity of water and quality of water every day. You must do your exercise and you must juice your fruit, because once you juice your fruit, it goes straight to the bloodstream and it acts faster. Sorry, it goes straight to the bloodstream and it acts faster than when you chew. Yeah, when you chew them. So most cancer patients juice their fruit, their vegetables. They also eat, in a chewing form as well, but they do most of juicing. And you do that and stay on it for like a year, no cooked food. You do your exercise and you still go about your business. And we have had several stories, several testimony of people that have embarked on this journey and have come out clean. So carrot is number one number one vegetable that must be part of your treatment. Then your moringa, either seed or leaf, must be part of it. All the fruits you can lay hand upon, they must be part of it. Then you come to improving eyesight. Anything that has a lot of vitamin A can improve your eyesight. We have your orange, anything that have this yellow pigments. Anything that has yellow pigment can improve your eyesight. Even your carrots, your orange, you can keep mentioning there. Anything that have this yellow pigment has a lot of vitamin A can improve your eyesight.
Thank you, ma.
All right, ma. I have another question here that what should adults reduce in their diet?
Okay, as I said earlier, I said a healthy eating is ensuring that you have all the nutrients that your body needs to work optimally. And I further said that you must choose, because getting all the nutrients, I must get from carbohydrate, I must get from protein, mineral, vitamins, and I must also get from including my fat and oil, I must get from them if I'm going to eat, healthily. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at the healthiest options from each of those food. And I mentioned, for instance, someone that, want a spread on his or her bread, instead of using your margarine or your butter, then you choose to go with your avocado pear. So avocado pear is the healthiest option for your margarine and your butter. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to remove anything from your food, but you go for the healthiest option of that food. There are some food that are little in carbohydrate. They are still carbohydrate food, but they have, lesser quantity of carbohydrate. So you go for such food. Yes, for your protein, you can choose fish over beef and over chicken, because beef and chicken have saturated fat that can increase your cholesterol level. So you can choose fish that has omega-3 fatty acid that helps improve your heart's health. So each of these food components or food category, there are healthiest options, or there are healthy options that you can choose from them. You don't necessarily have to eliminate any food, but go for the ones that are healthy, because your body needs them to work optimally. Your body needs them. By the time you start, eliminating some food from your list, you are not getting the required nutrients, and it becomes an issue. You become malnourished, and you become, malnutrition might set in. And when I say malnutrition, it's not only people that are underweight, even people that are obese. People that are obese, we also term them as malnutrition. Either you're underweight or you're obese or you're overweight, all those are malnutrition. So eat all the food nutrients, but go for the healthy ones.
Okay, thank you, ma. I think let's just take these two questions. And there's someone asking question about food and blood group, but I've seen that it will be a broad topic, which will be a topic for another day.
Well, yeah,
so I won't go into that, but I think this person wants to know more about what food and fruit ulcer patients can eat. Then you talk about the quality of water. What do you mean about the quality of water? Then fruit and foods to be taken by ulcer patients. So we can just end it there.
For an ulcer patient, you have to avoid anything that is pepperish. Anything that is pepperish. I don't want to, so I don't deprive that person of what the person is enjoying. But anything that is pepperish, for instance, your garlic is pepperish, and once you take it, you might not be comfortable. So an ulcer patient should stay away from anything that is pepperish. Eat food that are not pepperish. You can also stay away from your beans, because sometimes it gives a lot of heartburn. You can stay away from that. But like your plant milk that I mentioned, an ulcer patient can take your plant milk if it's an adult. If it's a child, your animal milk, the child can also take. And also any food that you're comfortable with, except food that are pepperish. I don't want to mention food and food so that the person doesn't begin to narrow his or her food to a particular food I have mentioned. But let the person just stay away from food that are pepperish. Food that hot. When you eat it, you have this hot sensation. Stay away from such food. Then the water, about the quality of water. Yes, the quality of water is also important as the quantity of water that you take. Because we find out that some water are very acidic. And once it's acidic, it contains heavy metals. If you keep taking acidic water, it's like an open door to diseases and sicknesses. That's why we emphasize on the quality of water. The quality of water that is best and is good for human consumption is my alkaline water. But for people that are in country where they have agencies that control, the supplies of water, they don't have an issue because they regulate, the pH of water that they supply to the population. But like we back here, where you're providing everything for yourself, your electricity, your water, then it calls for you to check your water. Because I know when I check my tap water in the kitchen, it's usually very acidic. When I drop my pH reagent, it will just show me yellow. So I have to, make a medium where I can get my alkaline water. So like the other time when I was back there, I came with my pH reagent and I tested the water from the tap in the kitchen where I was. It was just my alkaline. It was suitable for drinking. So I didn't bother. I was taking the water directly from the tap back there in South Africa, and I was drinking it directly from the tap because it was suitable for drinking. But for people that they don't have agency that control or regulate the supply of water, then there is call for them to check out the water that they consume.
She read 1 John chapter 3, verse 2, that beloved, I wish above all that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as the soul prospereth. So it said that in enjoying physical health and also in prospering, as in having financial breakthrough, there is place of our soul prospering. And our soul gets prosper in knowing Christ because He is the way, He is the truth, and He is also the light. And know this is another opportunity to have an encounter with the Lord Jesus Christ. Probably you are postponing the day of your salvation, or you are thinking, does that actually make sense? I have good moral, I don't really do what is bad, but there is actually a place of having an encounter with the Lord. I know it's very simple. It's just for you to know that you're a sinner, to confess those sins to God and to ask God for His mercy. And I pray that as many people that are making that decision this evening, the Lord will make that experience to be a genuine one and you experience God's visitation in Jesus' name.